All right, folks, welcome to the webinar. We're going to be getting started in about 2 minutes. As you come on, let us know where you're logging in from. Say hello. Let me know that you're on right now. We're going to get started in about 2 minutes, folks. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the webinar tonight. I wanna thank you for taking the time to spend just a few minutes with me. And before we get started, I want to just first and foremost again thank you for joining us tonight. I know you could be anywhere tonight on this Saturday night, but I promised to give you some information. And it's funny because just a few months ago, I did not think that I would be doing something like this because I didn't really see a means to an end. And I started posting some of the different results that I had when it came to my credit, and I said, it's starting to feel I'm starting to feel a little selfish behind why or how I'm actually getting this done. And so some of you guys have reached out to me, and I wanted to put on this free webinar for you and let you know exactly what I'm doing in order to get this to get my credit back to where it needs to be. And so, what better way to really start that off by I saw this image here of Jamie Foxx online, and I thought it was just like perfect because that bottom picture shows a lot of people right now, although they won't say it. It's a lot of people I'm realizing struggling and trying to get their credit back in on track. And so, and then of course that top number or that top picture is showing him, as he's getting things in order. So, but we're going to get right into it. And so, a lot of people again have been asking what I've been doing in order to get this credit back on track. And I want to be very, very cautious of your time. And so we're going to get right into it. So the first thing I want to do is really just share my story with you because I was born and raised right here in Flint, Michigan. For those who don't know me, my name is Mike Lewis, born and raised again right here in Flint, Michigan. And I went to school at Eastern. And like many of you, I'm sure, that's listening to this webinar right now, you know how it is on college campuses, right? So many people think they've arrived because you have so many people walking around with their clipboards and their credit applications. And so what happened was I thought that let me make sure that this volume is good for you guys. Can you guys hear me okay? Yes, 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 yes. All right, good stuff. All right, so I was trying to make sure that people, I'm sorry, I was trying to make sure that I had some form of credit. I knew I needed credit. I didn't understand why I needed it, but like most people, they see these credit applications and they immediately start filling them out. And so every single one that I came across, I would actually fill them out. And so at Eastern Michigan University, I mean, they were just like flies on old meat. And again, just because, I thought regardless I would be able to get approved for it. And so I went ahead and filled it out. But what I did not know is that I had to manage that credit. I didn't know some of the rules and some of the things that takes place when it comes to managing credit and being able to keep your credit in line with what a lot of lenders and institutions may be looking for. So I made the mistake like many people do. I got into a lot of debt and I just didn't know how I was going to get out. And so, what happened was years passed and I would see my credit score. When I realized that I had a credit score, I would see that score go from one number and it would drastically fall. And so for years, I was one of those folks that would just convince myself, things will get back on track here soon enough. I'll start making some more money and I'll just pay some of these bills off. But how many of you guys know that although it may be the plan to do something like that, it doesn't necessarily mean that it happens that way because, again, life happens, right? And so I was in a position where although I was making money, I still did not have the discipline that was needed in order to pay the bills on time. And so I watched my credit score drop drastically to the point where I said, I don't see a way in getting out of this. And I actually considered bankruptcy for a while. And thank God, that I didn't have to go that route. And if anybody, is listening right now, it's not a bad thing. I don't want to make you feel that if it's a bad thing, but I do want you to understand that there is a way out. There is a way out. And so what we have for you tonight, and I'm going to get right into it, is let me first and foremost go over some common myths that a lot of people believe when it comes to credit. And the first thing is, and we hear it all the time, that cash is king. Now, it's interesting because it's usually the individuals that says cash is king are the ones that really don't have enough cash on hand to buy or purchase some items that they're talking about. Let's say, for example, that, we've all heard you get a better deal if you want to go and purchase a vehicle and you buy it cash. Yes, that is true. I sold cars for many years, and it is true that you do get a better deal, but the reality of it is I didn't see many people that would actually come in with the cash in hand in order to do what it is that they were looking to do. So cash is king to a certain extent. However, I'm going to share with you tonight even where cash may not help you. It's an advantage, but it's not a major advantage in all areas. All right. So I'm going to show you why that's a myth. That cash it does have its advantages, but cash is not necessarily king in today's society. All right. Myth number 2: paying my bills on time raises my credit score. Listen, I can attest to that. Although I did not go through and not pay any of my bills, I did pay my bills. Don't misunderstand me. I did pay the bills, but the more I paid the bills and the more I was just making those minimum payments, I realized that nothing was happening to my score. And some of you on this webinar tonight may realize the same thing is happening to you, is that your score is not going up, although you're doing what they told you to do, and that is paying your bills on time. So it doesn't necessarily mean that you will raise your credit score when you're paying your bills on time. Myth number 3: bankruptcies cannot be removed off my credit report. That is not true, and I'm going to show you why that's not true tonight. Many people that utilize the service that I'm getting ready to show you guys have actually had to deal with bankruptcies, and they've had them removed. And so I want to give you some hope tonight on the bankruptcy situation. All right. Myth number 4: old accounts on my credit report will automatically be removed after so many years. I believe this one for a long time, because I was told, that after 7 years or so, a debt on your credit report has to be removed by law. Now, here's what's interesting. That is true. However, if you don't notify the credit bureaus that this is an outdated account, then guess what? It's going to stay on your account. And I'm gonna share with you some extra things that my wife and I have done in order to get a lot of old accounts removed, and some more recent ones, believe it or not, removed off of our credit report. All right, so let's go into a couple statistics here. The state of America's personal and financial affairs. Statistically, about 43 million people have a 599 credit score or lower. All right. Nearly half of Americans don't even know their credit score. I fall into that line. I did not know what my credit score was until I began to realize that I'm going to need more and more credit to do some of the things that my wife and I were planning to do. The average debt is over $225,000, with many having less than $500 in savings. I think so many people fall into that category where less than $500 in savings. Now, we know that $500 does not suffice for living today, but to have less than $500 in savings today is a scary reality that many people are facing today. All right, 49% of Americans have no retirement, and only 18% know that they're on track to reach their income goals for retirement. That's pretty scary. That's pretty scary, because that means that within the next wave of generation, about 49% of them will have no retirement. And we know what's happening with Social Security and retirement right now. 65% have no will, 82% have no trust, and 71% have no power of attorney. Now, here's what's staggering about those percentages, is that 100% of us will one day die. There's no way around that. Every single one of us will pass one day. And so to have 65%, and it's probably higher than that now, 65% of people without a will. Listen, folks, you need a will, and I'm going to show you why and how this is relative to your credit as well. Over $58 billion in unclaimed life insurance policy, bank accounts, pensions, stocks, and other assets and properties, according to CNN Money. And every 2 seconds, folks, an identity is stolen. It's amazing. I was just talking with some coworkers just yesterday, and I'm overhearing a conversation, and I believe, unknown to them, that they were victims of identity theft. And so it's real out there. It's really the #1 white collar crime in America today, and we're going to show you how you can actually shield yourself from that. Okay. Now, the very first thing I want you to understand is that there is a credit scoring system. Now, you may be on here right now and you're saying, Mike, I know there's a credit scoring system, but let me tell you something that I did not know is actually taking hold right now, and it's something called the Vantage Score 3.0. All right, the Vantage Score 3.0. Now, I don't have enough time to go into the major differences between the two, but most people are familiar with the FICO score, right? So when a lot of people pull their credit, they're looking for that FICO score. Now, the challenge with that is it doesn't mean that the FICO score is not relevant. It's just simply being overturned, if you will, in today's time by what we call the Vantage score. And the Vantage score is basically where the FICO score takes a multitude of your history and so forth of anonymous people, and they basically put you in a pool, almost like a teacher grading on a scale, on a curve, whereas the Vantage score takes is very selective. Let's say you have a Vantage score for your auto credit score. You have a Vantage score for your life insurance or any type of services that you need. There's a Vantage score. And so a lot of times, a lot of the lenders now are looking at that Vantage score. And so it's to your advantage to actually know the difference between the two. And like I said, I don't have a whole bunch of time to go into the two, but I would definitely encourage you to start researching the Vantage score. All right. Now, so let me share with you what we're doing right now. Just a few months ago, and when I share my story even further with you, it's probably going to shock a lot of you, and some of you, I understand some of you may not believe the results, but let me explain something to you. The results are real that I'm going to share with you. And just a few months ago, a company called Financial Education Services was actually brought to my attention. I'm going to share with you a little later on how that was done, but this service was actually something that made a lot of sense to me. I've been in the home-based business industry for a long time, and I would get involved with things. I would lock arms with different industries that I believed in, but this one here really stood out to me because I knew that there were so many people out there hurting, not in just credit, but in a lot of different situations. And so I'm going to share some things with you. Financial Education Services, just to give you a brief history about it real quick. The nuts and bolts of why we exist really is because it's a lack of financial education. The Bible says my people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. Nowhere in there does it say that knowledge is not available. And so it's just a lack of financial education. I know I fit into that boat perfectly, is that I knew that I had to budget my finances. I knew that I had to have credit, but I didn't know how to go about doing it. So I had a lack of financial education. And so Financial Education Services is just that. What we do is we provide financial education. We needed a long time ago, right? So many of us, again, like myself, we knew about having a budget, but we didn't necessarily know the ins and outs and how to get that done. And so we provide financial solutions with services that protect your identity, protect your credit, your family, finances, lifestyle, and future. And of course, if you know me, you know that I'm an entrepreneur. So we're going to talk about some career opportunities. Now, what you do with the information is completely up to you. Some of you guys I shared with you, I said that, I'm going to share some information with you that's going to allow you to actually pay off your debts much faster. And so we're going to talk about that tonight. So Financial Education Services was actually founded in 2004 by Mike Toloff and Preno Naik. They're actually headquartered in Farmington Hills, Michigan. They have an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau, over 100% in annual sales growth, a completely debt-free company, and the same. Now here's the key. So with so many companies downsizing and right-sizing and closing their doors, this company, what stood out to me was that they had the same key executive since the company's inception of 2004. And so that speaks very highly about this company, and that's why I wanted to take a closer look at it. So you think about this, for example, how many people do you know personally that have less than perfect credit? How many people do you know that have debt and have no idea how to pay it off? Don't have their personal and financial affairs in order, and don't have life insurance? Listen, I fell under every single one of those categories, and I don't want you to be the same way. All right. So many people can't even afford an annual vacation. They need to make an additional income. I don't know anybody out there that don't want to make extra income today. And so we're going to show you how to get that done. And then you have those individuals that just want a solution and a plan of action. Listen, sometimes it just makes sense to see light at the end of the tunnel. And so I want to share with you how we're going to be able to get that done for you, right? So this comes the Financial Education Services, or the FES Protection Plan. It's the Protection Plan membership and a plan that protects your identity, your credit, your family, finances, lifestyle, and your future. Okay? So before we get into it, let me talk about real quickly what's in your protection plan membership and how this is helping my family, my wife and I actually restore our credit. The first thing that you're going to see is credit restoration. All right. Today, it's no secret. Your credit score is like a vital sign, right? It's being monitored at all times. It's amazing because so many people don't realize, I don't believe they realize how important credit is. I know I didn't. They didn't realize how important credit is. I mean, it's to the point now where some of you guys know that I work with youth, right? And one of the things that I help them do is to make themselves, or help them to become more marketable in the marketplace by seeking some form of employment, or having some income coming in. And so I will never forget, there was a young lady in my classroom that says, well, Mr. Lewis, there's no way that I can apply for this job. And I said, well, why not? She said, because I submitted the application, but they wanted to pull my credit report. And that stumped me, because when I first started looking for employment, when I first started working, to look at your credit and to deny you a employment due to your credit was unheard of. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is the world that we live in right now. Okay, remember I said that cash is not always king. And think about this now. Having poor credit can impact your insurance premiums, right? It can impact your insurance premiums or in your interest rate. So let's take, for example, the individual that says, well, I have the cash in order to pay for the insurance anyway. But does that mean that you're going to pay higher rates? You know what I'm saying? I mean, come on, let's make sense out of this thing. Just because you have the cash don't mean that you should have to pay a higher interest because your credit is bad. And so in a situation like that, you need to have some established and some decent or good credit, okay? Over the course of your lifetime, less than an excellent credit rating could cost you over $200,000. Folks, that is a lot of money. All right, now you can restore your score. Okay, the Fair Credit Reporting Act gives Americans the right to dispute and/or investigate any item on a credit report. A lot of people don't know that. However, on the flip side of that, a lot of people don't know how to do that. And so they have these inaccurate and these erroneous and all these late payments and charge-off, foreclosures, bankruptcies, tax liens, collections, short sales, medical bills, and all these other things. And they don't realize that they can actually be removed or can be updated to reflect paid as agreed. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is a secret that most people or the credit bureaus will not tell you. You can have these things removed and you can have them updated, and believe it or not, all of this affects your credit score. I give you a prime example. Just recently, my wife and I found out that there was a glitch in the TransUnion system, which was, of course, one of the major credit bureaus. And we found out that every recent inquiry that was on our account, we can actually have it removed. No questions asked. We had to know the verbiage, right? There were certain things that we had to say in order to make sure that we had those things removed. But we were able to do that. And so what happened was, we would call them up and we say, we want to talk to someone in the United States, and of course they would direct us to those individuals. But then what happened was, we found out that because there was a glitch in the system, we realized that a lot of the things can be removed or updated on our credit report. So we did that, and TransUnion, because of the glitch in their system, now of course they're not going to go on CNN and publicize that they had a glitch in the system, and so of course, why would they? Right? You having poor credit is actually saving and making them money. All right, so what we did was, we called them and we said, hey, listen, we realized that there's something on our credit report that was at one point wiped off, and all of a sudden we're seeing it again, and we didn't say it exactly like that word for word, and so we just had those things removed. Then we found out that we can actually dispute even some of the names that were on our credit report. For example, I never fill out an application with Mike Lewis. I never do that. But on my credit report, I'm having, that was one of the names that was on my credit report, Mike Lewis. Now, I'm not saying that I don't have people refer to me as Mike, but what I'm saying is I don't fill out any important documentation with that alias name. And so what happens is that I call them and I had them remove every single name that I did not associate myself with, along with previous and old addresses. And guess what, folks? That helped my credit score as well. And so you have the ability to do that. All right, credit restoration. Again, we have proven results in the track record since 2004. We have an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. Now, here's what's interesting. This right here, we moved over 875,000 derogatory items from people's credit reports. Now, here's what's interesting. That number actually has to be updated. It's actually over 1 million derogatory items. Removed over 100,000 public records. If you had any type of experiences like me, you know public records are very, very difficult to have removed. And so we had, I think we had a few of them removed, and that took our score through the roof. And so it's possible. And with the financial education and the FES Protection Plan membership, we were able to get that done. Tens of thousands of satisfied clients, 100% satisfaction guarantee. How many companies do you know will give you 100% satisfaction guaranteed as long as you do your part? Ladies and gentlemen, I'm a living testament that this service will absolutely change your life. Other valuable credit building services, we have what we call a positive credit builder. And what this does is it gives you a complete understanding of what can affect your credit score, along with specific recommendations on building a positive credit rating. All right. We have what we call Debt Zero. Now, here is what's so powerful about Debt Zero. Debt Zero is a digital system that we use where you can actually, it's a debt payoff system, and it's a budgeting tool, and it could actually, once you input all of your information in there as far as your debts and budgets and so forth, it can actually narrow it down to the very second that you can become debt free based on the calculations and so forth. So that is one very powerful tool that you will have with your protection plan. Credit attorney. Now listen, I know that I'm not the only person on this webinar or on this call right now that if money was not the issue, we would have called an attorney a long time ago for a lot of different services or a lot of different things that happen to us in our life. Now, a lot of people say, well, I have a friend that's an attorney. Why do I need your attorney? Because your friend may not be a credit attorney, okay? A credit attorney usually charges anywhere from $375 to maybe $500 an hour. Now, I don't know about you, but I could not afford that at one time. So you have a credit attorney at your beck and call that can help you with taking legal action to fix any credit reports and creditors and so forth, just so you can know what your rights are. It gives you that peace of mind. Credit monitoring. A lot of you guys will see the different results that I will post, and that will come from the Smart Credit service that we have, where it's monitoring your credit 24/7. No, this does not affect your credit rating. It just monitors it. And so you're able to have that updated, and you can see your score. I'm going to tell you, it's some serious momentum that takes place in your financial life when you begin to see the light at the end of the tunnel, and you begin to see that your credit is being rebuilt or restored. And so you want to make sure that you have yourself protected. Now, some personal results here, and I want to get into some testimonials, but just to share with you some personal results, because again, some of you guys were seeing me post online, and you have to understand, when I first started, I'm not ashamed to say it anymore, I was like the little guy on the left here, right? I was real picky about certain things and certain services or products or whatever that I thought that I can go out and purchase with a 400 credit score, right? I had a low 400 credit score, you guys. A lot of people obviously didn't know it. It wasn't anybody's business, but I did. I started off with a low 400 credit score, and I'm out there being picky, like I can get whatever I want. You know what I'm saying? I can do this. I can pay for it. Yeah, you may be able to pay for it, but you're not getting approved for it, right? And so that's where I started. And then I started to do what my financial advisor and my credit attorney was telling me to do. And I'm gonna tell you now, my credit is well beyond that 400 score. And so let's just say it's at the point now where multiple offers are starting to come in the mail, and so that discipline kicks in tremendously for us right now. So believe me, it works. So Now, if you don't believe me, let's go into some more, folks. Let's take Yvette Reed from Cherry Hill, New Jersey, for example, that said in just 2 months, my credit score increased to the point that my car insurance premium was lowered by $2,000 per year. Again, going back on the example that cash may not always be king, but if your credit score would allow you to have a lower premium for your car insurance, wouldn't that just make sense to some folks? Absolutely, I know it would. So to have that lowered by $2,000 per year, folks, that's a big deal. That's a big deal, all right? Or let's take Brian Faluca from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, that says my credit score went from a 586 to a 748, allowing me to purchase a new car with no money down and a very low monthly payment. Remember, we talked about bankruptcies, for example. And so let's take, for example, Johnny and Sandra Moeller from Dallas, Texas, that says that after having our bankruptcy removed, we were able to purchase a home with a low fixed interest rate, which saved us almost $1,000 per month. That's huge. $1,000 per month. What could we do with $1,000 per month? Or let's talk about Vinnie Ho from Westminster, California. All right, who said that just after 45 days, folks, listen, it takes years for some people to get their credit restored, but he said after 45 days, I had a tax lien and a foreclosure deleted from my credit reports. Folks, that is huge. That is huge. Now, here's what's interesting. So many people, again, although they may have solid credit or they may have decent credit, a lot of people don't realize what could affect them even more so than them just not paying their bills or doing something of that nature. And that is something that a lot of people, I'm amazed, don't really understand, and that is identity theft. Folks, it's the #1 white collar crime in America today. Here's the reality of it is, you guys, there is no such thing as privacy in the world today. And so it's not a matter of if you'll become a victim, it's when you become a victim of identity theft. That's just the way it is. And so what you will have in addition to your credit restoration is the LifeLock protection, identity theft protection, okay? Think about this. Why would you risk losing your excellent credit rating and good name? Okay, over 15 million Americans have their identity stolen each year, totaling about $50 billion in losses. Now, here's what's interesting. A lot of people say, well, I've heard somebody say before, well, you know, someone can take my identity. I don't have much anyway. Well, you wouldn't say that if you were a victim of medical identity theft, where someone goes out and commit medical fraud in your name. Or how about crime identity in your name, where they go out and commit a crime, and guess who's knocking on your door at 2 o'clock in the morning? Absolutely, the police officers, because according to their system, you were the perpetrator. All right, so you want to make sure that you have yourself shielded from this, and you will have that with your identity theft protection LifeLock. I'm going to get moving here because I understand that your time is valuable. Listen, again, remember, 100% of us will die one day. 100% of us will die one day. So it just makes sense to actually have a will, trust, and power of attorney in place, okay? The reality of it is, you guys, we know that over 70% of Americans do not have a will. Actually, 85% of Americans do not have a will. Tomorrow, we're celebrating, or I don't want to say celebrating, but we are remembering a very, very tragic event that took place in our American society, and that was the tragedy of the Twin Towers of 9/11. Think about this, you guys. Some of those parents walked out of that house for the final time, not knowing that that would be the last time that they kissed their baby on the cheek or hugged their wife or their husband on the way out the door. So the fact of the matter is, you guys, we never know when that's going to be. We never know when that's going to be. I was a victim of this, where I did not understand or even think that I needed a will. And then I had to remove any selfish desires or any excuses and say, well, the will is not for me, but it's for the ones that I'm leaving behind. And so the majority of the people have no will. They have no trust or power of attorney. And so you have to ask yourself this question, same question I had to ask myself. What would happen to your children, your property, or all your other assets if you were to die today without a will? All right? If you can't make decisions for yourself, who will know your wishes? Because the reality of it is, wherever state that you're calling in from tonight, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to understand that you have a will in place, but it's not one that I guarantee is going to be to your liking. It's the one that the state that you reside in believes is most suitable for your assets or your estate. All right. So then you think about this. What about the people that you're leaving behind? Will they know what to do, or will they know where to find all your personal and financial documents and information? Because in addition to having a will, a trust, and a power of attorney, you're going to have your financial lockbox where you have all your financial information for your family right there on hand. Okay, and it's a program developed by attorneys to complete at your own pace from the comfort of your own home. It's updates as needed with no add-ons or surprise fees. You secure all of your important information. It's virtual, password protected. It's like a safety deposit box, all right? A lot of people I know may have deposit boxes where it's like a digital, password protected safety deposit box where it keeps all your financials inside of this lockbox. And it's an easy to use service, okay? So we'll move right along. Now, you have to ask yourself this question. You have all of these services right here. The credit restoration, the credit builder. We didn't even go into every single one of them, but you have literally over, I think it's 13 different services that you're going to have. Now, you have to ask yourself this question. How much do you think that's going to cost you and your family to have all of that? All right, credit restoration, credit builder, credit attorney, your own credit attorney, folks, smart credit. You have discount shopping, you have My Care Plan, you have Debt Zero, LifeBlock, Financial LifeBlock, life insurance, folks. You have all of these things included within your protection plan. That's over $10,000 individually, or it can easily be over $400 per month. But now here's what's happening. We're not providing these services for $10,000 individually. We're not providing them for $400 per month. We do all of this for only $87 per month. Folks, it's a no-brainer. It is a no-brainer on why you need this service. Now, here's another thing that really drew me to the Financial Education Protection Plan, and that is, again, I work with youth. I know that if I would have known about finances and how to manage my finances properly as a youth, then I would have been in a better position than I was years ago, and it would not have taken me this long to get it, right? And so every protection plan membership donates $2 each month to the Youth Financial Literacy Foundation, where they teach them about personal finance and how to actually get things in order so they won't have to struggle like many of their parents or grandparents had to. And so that's just huge. That is huge. So let me share with you briefly why I'm so excited about this and how you can put yourself in a position to not only get your credit restored, not only have your will and all your financials in place, but ladies and gentlemen, to bring in some extra income. I am 100% convinced that there's not a person on this planet that is not looking for a way to make some extra income. And so I want to share with you what we've done in order to make this happen. All right, so I will share with you how I actually capitalize with these services and how you can too. Again, my wife and I'm going to be honest with you, I was not necessarily looking. I was not looking for something else. I was already doing a business that I was pretty excited about. So I wasn't technically looking. However, the gentleman on the right there, who is a good friend of mine, good friend, mentor, business, entrepreneur, author, world-renowned speaker, Matthew Harris, this guy right here, he called me up one day after really we haven't talked in over a year, and he called me up one day just to follow up and ask me how things were going, and he asked me one important question, and I should have seen it coming because I know Matthew, right? I know Mr. Harris, and he has a heart for people, and one that I've never seen in this industry quite like him. And so what happened was he called me up one day, and after about an hour talking on the phone and just catching up, he says, "So what are you doing now?" And so I shared with him the company that I was representing at the time, and he says, "Well, are you open to looking at more opportunities?" And me knowing him, I know he's not about fluff, right? He's not about somebody that's just looking to get people signed up for something, but he has a genuine heart to not only serve the masses, but really help them secure financial freedom and really live the lifestyle that they desire to live. And so he calls me up and he shares that with me, and the rest, ladies and gentlemen, was history, because I knew that whatever he wanted to present, I knew it was real deal because I know him, right? And so he shared with me this opportunity, and I'm going to share with you really quick here, and then I'm going to let you go. All right, so real quick, How many people today control their income? How many people today do you know control their schedule, their advancement, their benefits, retirement, and future? Listen, some of the great conglomerates of the world today are closing their doors because they can no longer compete, right? Fortune magazine, U.S. News, and Time magazine. The writing is on the wall, folks. If you honestly believe that there's a such thing as job security, then you, my friend, are sadly mistaken. And that's the best way that I can explain it. You are sadly mistaken because there is no such thing as job security. And so if that is true, then you have to do something that is going to supplement your income so you won't have to be like the majority of the people, or I don't want to say the majority, but a great number of people that find themselves, as you see here, 50 and fired, right? And so you don't want to be that person. And so you want to take something in consideration that J. Paul Getty, the number one actually recorded billionaire, he said it's better to get 1% of 100 people's efforts rather than 100% of your own. Folks, that's coming from a billionaire. And so I want to introduce you to something called hybrid marketing, where corporate America meets entrepreneurship. Okay? Now, let me say this to you, because I know there's somebody on here right now that may be saying, well, I'm not into one of those things. I'm not into one of those, sign people up things. I don't like selling and all of that stuff. Listen, you got to do something different, right? And I'm still waiting on somebody to tell me what is one of those things, because the very people that tell me it's one of those things don't really know what one of those whatever things is. And so I want to share with you what we call hybrid marketing. Okay, so we earn income and benefits several ways, of course, through personal sales commissions, team building bonuses, management bonuses, all these different ways that you see here. And again, because I want to be respectful of your time, I want to move right along with this. Okay, so what do we do to earn income and benefits? We have really two divisions that I want you to look at. Okay, we have what we call a developing corporate accounts and personal clients, and then of course we have the business development side, where when you're looking at the corporate accounts and the personal clients, you're looking at the protection plan membership sales that you just saw, right? And the sales of individual services. And of course, business development, you're looking at building the team and showing them how to go out and do the same thing that you did. When it comes to the corporate accounts, you're talking about mortgage brokers, car dealerships, real estate agents, bankruptcy attorney, tax professionals. All of these different industries require credit-worthy clients. Think about this. How many people do you know with damaged credit that has gone to one of these agencies before, and some of the agencies don't know what to tell them because they don't have a way for them to actually go out and restore their good name by restoring their credit? And so you will have the ability to go out and create corporate accounts with that in mind. Okay. Now, the next thing is, corporate opportunities as individual or additional corporate account opportunities. You can offer it as a employee payroll. You can actually add an apartment or a house to your credit to actually build your credit. Who does that, guys? You can actually do that. And of course, you can refer businesses for free analysis and so forth. So let's talk about the money real quick. Now, the actual compensation plan, if you guys are interested, just inbox me or email me at support@MikeLewisInc.com, and I will send you a full disclosure on the compensation plan. But I want to break it down real quick for you and show you how this actually works. Okay, so for each protection plan customer, you can earn $12 per month. Now, I know some of you probably like me. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I saw that and I said, $12? That couldn't even give me a Happy Meal, right? And so you can earn $12 a month, or I'm sorry, $12 per customer, when you, as an agent with a protection plan, actually goes and gets another person protected with this protection plan. It's $12 per customer. Okay. Of course, you have fast track bonuses. So let's take, for example, if you go out and you sell 3 protection plan customers, okay, made within your first 30 days, that's $100 plus $12 a month. Okay. A month, per month, ladies and gentlemen. We're talking about residual coming in real quick. So let's, theoretically speaking, let's talk about residual monthly income. All right. So if you went out and you got 2 protection plan customers per week, folks, that's around $200 a month. All right. If you did 5, that's $1,500 a month after 6 months. Okay. And then 15 protection plans, folks, that's over $100,000 after your first year. Don't tell me it can't happen, because there's people in the company that is doing it all the time. Okay. And then now here's the part that got me really excited, because again, I've been in the industry for a long time and I understand compensation plans, but this right here I've never seen before, and it's what we call the CAB bonus, or the customer acquisition bonus. And it's basically, this is how it works. When you enroll a new agent with a protection plan membership and help them produce $340, all right, in sales, which is not hard to do, folks, within their first 70 days, you receive $100 CAB bonus plus your residual. Okay, plus your residual. So let's put some numbers to it. As a field trainer, that's $160. And we can go into detail about how you reach the field training and so forth. And it really, in a nutshell, every level of this compensation plan comes only as a result of you helping the next person do the same thing. All right. So when you go as a field trainer and you help one of your agents go out and market 2 protection plan memberships within their first 70 days, you receive $160 CAB bonus. Okay, now as a senior field trainer, that's a $240 CAB bonus plus your residual, and the numbers just get higher and higher and higher, folks. Listen, I'm gonna tell you this: I did not see it at first. I'm gonna be completely honest with you, because I'm I believe, a analytical person, and so I wanted to see the numbers. I wanted to see how was this going to work. I wanted to digest all the information. If you are that kind of person where you're looking to digest everything, I'm gonna be completely honest with you. This may not be for you, because there is a learning curve with this business, right? Just like it was a learning curve on your job. Give yourself the opportunity to learn what you need to learn in order to set yourself free from the turmoil and the pain, not only in having poor credit or looking to rebuild your credit, but really to establish some more financial foundations for you, okay? And the CAB bonuses just get higher and higher, paid to really unlimited levels, ladies and gentlemen. That is something that I never heard of as long as I've been in this industry, and it's really up to you, right? You can have teams across the nation, really across the nation, and it's really about your work ethic. You know what's really interesting to me is that we can go out day by day and we can build someone else's dreams, but when it comes to building our dreams, we run and we duck our tail and hide under a table and say, woe is me, nothing would ever happen. But when you have an opportunity like what I'm showing you right now, where you can actually go out and secure your financial future with by doing something different, then ladies and gentlemen, after a while, it just makes sense for you to do something different, right? So, let me give you some more theoretical examples. If you did this once a month by going out and you building this team, ladies and gentlemen, that's $5,000 a month. If you did this once a month, is it possible? Absolutely, but it really depends on your work ethic. This is not one of those get rich quick schemes. This is not a pyramid, and I understand that. I've been in this industry long enough to know the mentality of the individual that believes that, but I also understand that same mentality is coming from the person that is struggling financially, and they just want to find a reason or convince themselves why they can't do something different. Okay, if you did this once a week, that's about $20,000 a month, folks. What if you did this twice a week? I mean, you do the numbers. Okay, again, you have to take this in consideration. For every customer, you think about this now as 5 customers. If you went out and did 5 customers in a month, right? 5 customers in a month, that's times 12. Your direct commission is $60. Okay, now we get paid every Thursday, so you go do that every single week. And ladies and gentlemen, how much is that in a month? 60 times 4, you're talking about $240, right? Give or take some change there. So now, and then let's say you go out and you got 5 agents out there, right? Multiply that by $3 in your override, folks. That's $15 in overrides that you're doing. The numbers just get astronomical, and so I really don't have time to go into a whole bunch of detail about that, but you can just see it for yourself. Now, in addition to that, we have what we call the R&R, or the Rest and Relaxation and Retirement Club, where you can have up to a $600 monthly auto payment, one-time cash bonuses. You have a $1,500 monthly auto payment, and really, this all depends on you going out and doing the work and helping more people get protected. What would you do with a $5,000 monthly house payment being made for you, right? Monthly retirement bonus up to $25,000, and really having anywhere from $100,000 to $250,000 monthly lifetime bonuses, folks. It just gets better and better and better. All right. The Rest and Relaxation Club total benefits are worth over $3 million annually. $3 million annually. Now, I get it. So many people out there will say, well, I'm not a salesperson. I don't have time to do this. I don't have time to do that. Well, I get it. But you do have time to go out and build someone else's dream. Yeah, I said the same thing, right? I said the same thing. Like, how in the world can I look my children in the face and say, you can't have this, when I know that I have another means to make something happen? And so I want to get rid of your notion that you have to be on your own. Listen, you may have heard this before. You're in business for yourself, but you're not in business by yourself. That gentleman that I shared with you, Mr. Matthew Harris, he put together an awesome system that will show you exactly what it takes in order to build this industry. Think about what J. Paul Getty said, okay? If you went out and did this, why not remove the stress and the pain of you doing everything 100% of your efforts? Because we know that as you go through your organization, each person retains less and less information if you are doing the training, right? So you don't need to do the training because Financial Education Services has all the training available for you in your organization, where they go out and they will actually train you to do what it is that we're doing. Now, what does this mean? This means two things. Number one, it doesn't matter who invited you to take a look at this, or who enrolled you, because they can't impede your success, right? In other words, you can surpass me, or you can surpass the individual that invited you to take a look at this. And number two, it means you can plug people that you know into the system, and they may go out and do better than you, and that's okay. You want people to do better than you in this business, okay? There's online training, there's conference call training, regional product trainings, local trainings, regional secrets of success trainings, national advanced leadership workshops. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, we take the guesswork out of this whole thing. And so here's what we know. There's really only a few type of people, when they see this, they know whether or not this is for them or not, right? And so you may be that person where there's no interest at this time, but you certainly know some people this may be good for, and who can definitely benefit from those services. Perfect. You know, I want to thank you again for investing your time. And if you know anybody, please don't hesitate to send them my way, because I'm looking to serve the masses by getting people restored and getting their financial lives in order, because it's happening for us, all right? And you may be that person that's just simply interested in the protection plan membership, right? You said, well, I don't need to make any extra money right now. I'm doing pretty good, but I do need to have myself and my family protected with the protection plan membership. Not a problem at all. I'm going to show you how to get that done, okay? All right, so, and then you have that person that says it's something to consider, right? By becoming an agent or a preferred customer or referral customer, you can actually get your service for free. Think about that. You mean to tell me that you can get your protection plan, the $87 a month, you can get that done for free simply by getting 5 protection plan customers, right? You get all of that for free, and you're eligible for up to $100,000 in life insurance. Folks, I mean, come on. I don't know about you, but my employer was not doing that for me, all right? You can earn over $700 per year. So basically, the company is paying you over $700 per year to utilize the power of the protection plan, and to have up to $100,000 in life insurance, just to simply use the protection plan. Folks, that's what we call protection that pays, all right? And then, of course, you have the individual that's interested in the protection plan and the financial opportunity, and they said, I just need a game plan on how to get started. So I want to share with you how you can get started. Really, there's 4 steps to getting started. Step number 1, you enroll and become an agent, all right? There's 2 options. Option A is a slow business builder, which is only $286. Folks, if $286 is going to determine whether or not you become financially independent, then I think it just makes sense to find $286. Right? If you want it to really get free, folks, you can find $286, okay? And so really your focus is just getting the customers, getting your services for free, building a small team of agents, and having up to $100,000 in life insurance. And of course, this is just that individual that's looking to build some supplemental income. And then you have the individual that says, listen, if I'm going to get going, I'm going to get going, and I am going to go all in. This is the pro business builder, all right? For really just $475, that includes not only your enrollment, but it also includes your secrets of success training in your local area. Okay, so again, all of these things, all you need to do is focus on protecting families with this service and utilizing the service yourself, and you, ladies and gentlemen, will see tremendous results. All right, step number 2. Become a Protection Plan member. Protect yourself and your family. Benefits of a Protection Plan membership, again, for only $87 a month. Again, you get all of these services that we went over before, but you're also eligible for all of these as well. And so, again, folks, it just makes sense for you to have what you need in order to get financially free and to have your credit restored in the process. Step number 3 is just simply expose people to FES. Right? Expose people. You develop sales, corporate accounts, and other agencies. You got to ask yourself, who do you know that has less than perfect credit? Who do you know that don't have a will? Who do you know whose identity is unprotected? That's a lot of people who enjoy saving money and receiving discounts, right? Who wants to become financially free? Who is looking for a part-time or full-time income? Folks, the list can go on and on and on and on about the different people that can utilize these services and this opportunity. And then, of course, how to expose people to the financial education services. You become great at exposing while you learn to become great at explaining. Listen, you have people in place right now that you can edify and promote. For example, I can call Matthew Harris. I can call Mr. Harris, and I can have him talk to my prospects, because most people that I would probably have talked to at the time didn't know me as an entrepreneur, right? They knew me as Mike. However, I can introduce them to Mr. Harris and have Mr. Harris that has the respect and the credibility. He builds that trust and that rapport, and all of a sudden, ladies and gentlemen, you realize that you have a powerful organization at your fingertips. All right. Step 4, of course, is to schedule your first training and complete your new agent checklist. All of this, ladies and gentlemen, is it's available to you. All right. Online training, conference call. Listen, again, going back on my analytical thinking self, if you had all the answers in the beginning, then you would not be in the position that you're in. And I said that to myself, and that's why I'm confident in saying it to you now. Okay. Listen, if you need to see something different, then you have to do something different. That's just the reality of it, of you guys. So a quick recap before I let you go. You just decide which category is best for you, right? If you, again, you're that person that has no interest at this time but can provide some referrals, or you're that person that's interested in the Protection Plan membership or an individual service, that's okay, or if you're that person that's interested in being an agent and having a solid financial future, ladies and gentlemen, option A or option B, you choose. Just get started. All right. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, I first and foremost want to say thank you for taking this time again. Congratulations. And I want to say welcome to the FES team. But I did promise you that I'm going to show you how you can actually get your services started. Okay. So you choose which route is best for you and your family. I'm going to send you directly to 1 or 2 options. All right. If you're just looking to get the protection plan only, then you go to this website right here. All right. That's a private link just for individuals that's looking to get the protection plan. Okay. Now, if you're looking to get started as an agent, I want to hear from you as well. And here is the direct link that's going to get you there. All right. www.mikeandjockuniversity.com/new vision. All right. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, again, I want to thank you for your time. And as always, you have to understand that when you are living in your purpose, there is no such thing as competition. Folks, have a good night. Talk to you soon. Bye for now.